But speaking of PlayStation being weird, the PlayStation 5 Pro. We got the announcement of
Yeah.
the PlayStation 5 Pro with like a 9 minute video that well, never mind, I'm not gonna say that. But yeah, we got an announcement of the PS5 Pro. The intention behind the Pro is to bridge the gap between fidelity and performance and remove the choice between having to choose. I wrote between way too many times, and to remove the choice between the two. For those who don't understand what that means, most AAA PS5 games have a fidelity and a performance mode. Fidelity mode targets a higher pixel resolution with lower frame rates, essentially targeting higher quality graphics over game performance, while performance mode targets higher frame rates with lower pixel resolution, therefore
Hmm.
prioritizing how smooth the game plays over how pretty it looks. The difference between the
Interesting.
two like it varies from game to game, but for the most part, it's never drastic enough. I feel like for the average consumer to notice. I barely notice, and I tend to always play on fidelity mode because I just like my games to look nice. Because I mostly play single player games, so I'm not worried about performance. Um,
Right.
to achieve what they're doing with the PS5 Pro, they've upgraded the GPU, giving it a 28% faster memory, enabling up to 45% faster rendering speed for gameplay, which is that's pretty significant. 45% is crazy. Um, advanced ray tracing, adding even more powerful ray tracing that provides more dynamic reflection and refraction of light, and AI driven upscaling, introducing PlayStation Spectral Resolution, or PSSR as they called it in the announcement video, which is an unfortunate name.
Yeah.
uh, Given USSR adjacent, but
Yep. Yep. Yep.
um, what it does is it essentially uses machine learning based tech to provide super sharp image clarity by adding a bunch more detail. I know a lot of people are going to hear AI and go, "What? They're using AI and get." Look, AI is a hot button issue right now, but this is one of the good
Yep.
uses of it. AI has been being used for a very long time in video games. Uh, it's
For
generative
sure.
AI that's the problem, not
Yeah.
just AI overall. AI has been being used for a very long time in various different ways that are like morally correct versus generative
Right.
AI.
It's
Um,
generative AI.
exactly. AI that's stealing from people and making stuff based off of other people's work without permission. That's the
Mm-hmm.
problem. But these features will also the AI scaling will also provide a boost in resolution and frame rate to over 8,500 PS4 games. So PS4 games will also be seeing a boost in resolution and frame rate due to if you play them on PS5 Pro. The console, so in the video, the way they show it is they use the latest Ratchet and Clank game as a example, where like they show like super zoomed in what the pixels look like, and like just how many more pixels it adds due to AI upscaling, and it is like noticeable, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool how much clearer it's making it look, and just imagining how that could work on older games is interesting. I'm excited to see like digital foundry videos breaking it down. Those videos are always fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes with a 2 terabyte solid state drive and releases November 7th at
$100.
$700, which is insane.
800 actually, because it's seven
Especially,
ninety nine.
is it? Hey, Dijon here. You're gonna hear me go off on a rant about how upset I am that I just found out that it's $800. Later on, I double check and realize it actually is $700. Like I said the first time, Aiara was mistaken because they read the pricing in another country where it was 800 of, I believe it was euros in the UK. So yes, we know that it is actually $700, which is still a ludicrous amount, but still, not $800, which you're gonna hear me go off about for honestly a bit, but ultimately the rant I go on isn't too different from the rant I would have went on otherwise. So enjoy.
Yeah, it's seven ninety
Oh,
nine.
you're right. Wait, hold on. Yeah, no, you're right. Wait, hold on. Give me a second.
Yep, $800, and
You're
it doesn't
right.
come with a disc
Oh my
drive,
God,
which
you're
is
right. Hold on, I'm getting there. Don't you're
yep.
getting ahead of yourself. Okay, we'll get there. Um, Wait, you're. Oh my God, I was thinking it was $700 this whole time, and I already thought that
Nope,
was
eight
crazy.
hundred dollars.
Oh my God, when you uh, it's crazy low key that low key phones cost that much.
Yeah.
When you put it into that perspective, low key, my mind starts to go, is that much? Because that's how much a phone costs.
Yeah, but it's like a phone has way more use case.
That's true.
Than
that
this.
is true.
And that's like keeping in mind the fact that the regular PS5, it's still $500, isn't it?
Yeah. And
yeah, like,
what I'm gonna get to is the fact that the price hasn't gone down in the slightest, and in some territories, it's actually gone up.
Up?
Yes.
That's ridiculous.
And everywhere, the controllers are increasing in price.
What? You know what?
This is the problem. The problem isn't the existence of it; it's the price. So
yeah,
like usually, like when the PS4 Pro came out, the price of the original PS4 and the PS4 Slim at the time went down by like
it's not
$50 to $100 because it was like, yeah, you got a new one out, you can buy that one for the price that it's at, where it was like $600 or whatever. But the old ones are now cheaper. So if you didn't have a PS4, now's the time to get a PS4.
Yeah,
it was probably the exact same way when the PS5 came out. The PS4 probably dipped in price significantly. I mean, you finally got a PS4, and we're like what 3 years or 4 years into the PS5 life cycle.
Yep, I got mine for $150, which is reasonable.
Would you got the Slim or like the regular version?
I think,
or the Pro. You could.
I have the. I think I have the regular. I'd have to check.
Does it sound like a jet engine?
No, it's really quiet.
But yeah, it's oh my god, it's $300. Because I wrote 200 because I thought it was 700. Because my brain didn't recognize those nines as nines. I can't believe it's $800. That makes me upset now.
Yeah,
it makes me so more upset now because I was already upset, but now I'm more upset because I'm like $700 is like I could, if I were to sell my current PS5 and get this, I'd be like, okay, I can justify that. But unless I'm gonna sell my PS5 full price, I can't justify it anymore. I just can't. Because at first I was immediately like, no, I'm not gonna get a PS5 Pro. I don't need that. But then I was like, you know what? If I sell my PS5 for like $400, maybe
you don't need it.
It'll shake out.
Need it.
But the thing that really held me back was the fact that the disc drive is separate, and I would have to pay an additional $80 to potentially $100 for a separate disc drive. Which this is the future of gaming.
It's highway robbery.
The PlayStation 6 is going to be the same way. They've done it twice now.
Sure.
They have a version of the current PS5 model, which is, a lot of people call it the Slim, but it completely replaced the original model. And if you get the digital version, you can. At the time, I was like, this is a cool idea. Where if you get the digital version, but for some reason you decide, you know what, I would actually like to use disc on it. You can add a disc drive to it. That's actually cool. But now it's being used for evil. This actually really cool idea is being turned around on us for evil. To make us have to buy additional stuff like their goddamn Apple, which is the problem. They are Apple now because they don't have any competition, because they're not worried about Nintendo, and Nintendo isn't worried about them because they have two completely different markets on lock right now. Nintendo is like, I don't care what Xbox and PlayStation's doing. We've got our own thing going on that they aren't really touching because they aren't in the portable console field right now. And PlayStation's like, Nintendo's not bothering us because they're doing their own thing. We only got Xbox to worry about. And right now, Xbox is trash. So we can afford to pull this bullshit. This is the problem with monopolies. PlayStation isn't a monopoly yet, but they're damn near close to one because Xbox is so ass that PlayStation can do whatever they want and people will pay for it because the alternative is a console with no games.
Yep.
So it's like I can play all those Xbox games on my PlayStation plus, third-party games, I mean. Plus all of these really good PlayStation games. And even then, Indiana Jones, which people thought was going to be Xbox exclusive, is coming to PlayStation sometime next year, which the game itself comes out, I think, in December. And then like mid-next year is coming to PlayStation. And that probably also means that Doom, The Dark Ages, is going to come to PlayStation eventually. So now people no longer have incentive to stick to Xbox because they bought Bethesda, but those Bethesda games will not be exclusive to Xbox. Guess what? Also not going to be exclusive to Xbox. Motherfucking Blade. Blade is going to be on PlayStation 2.
I was about to say, yeah.
Marvel isn't going to have that game only be on Xbox where it's going to make no money. Because if they did that, unfortunately, my probably favorite game studio, Arcane, would cease to exist if they did that.
Mm.
If Blade was only on Xbox, the final bastion that is Arcane Leon, which is half of the studio where the other half got cut, would go away.
Right.
So I'm glad that it will most likely be coming out on PlayStation now, because that means that the game will probably actually do good.
Yeah.
But yeah, PlayStation, how about you make some games, okay? Where are the games, PlayStation? How are you going to release a new console when there aren't any games on the current console?
Give us some games. Console with no video games for it.
Okay, we say that, but also like Astro Bot just came out, and I'm gonna talk about that. Astro Bot's great, and also Final Fantasy came out earlier this year. They got games, but they need more. Like they haven't been releasing as many as they should. Yeah. Like they need to be releasing more games, because games just take forever to make now, and it's like, I get that. Okay, you should be making these games that take a lot of, that you're giving the developers a long time to make, but you also, I feel like, should be making games that don't take as long to make, to hold this over in the meantime. You should be having smaller studios making smaller games. Within like like PS3 era, it's still easily my favorite video game era of all time. But also like you got a bunch of like side games that were like spin-offs of like major franchises all the time in like between 2005 and 2013. You always got those types of games. For big major franchises, we get smaller games in between. Bring that back. Right. Give us smaller games in between this to hold us over, made by smaller studios.